ROC State Championship battle report coming right up. Mr. Heroclix is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning role for our gaming needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafe.com or on their Facebook page using the link from the description of this video. Mr. Heroclix is also brought to you by trollandtoad.com. trollandtoad.com's Black Friday sale starts Friday, November 29th at midnight Eastern Time, and we'll have huge sales on Heroclix products. So check them out Black Friday weekend for great deals on Heroclix. Alright guys, so today we're talking about the battle report for my second place, so runner-up, ROC State Championship battle report for West Virginia. That's normally where I go because for whatever reason that is closer to me than my home state of Pennsylvania. 9 times out of 10. Hopefully we can change that in the future, get some Pittsburgh love. But anyway, it was a good time as always. Well-run venue at Four Horsemen Comic in Morgantown, West Virginia. So thank you guys for hosting it. The Judge Nick's great. Everybody there is very welcoming. It's definitely my home away from home venue. I love playing there. Just fabulous thing. They don't sponsor the channel or anything. I just really like the store that much and the crew that's there. So thank you guys for running such a great event. So what did I run for this? Well, there's several videos on it, but basically I ran Sentinels. A bunch of people said that it wasn't a great team to run. I saw a lot of potential in it, and it ran great for me all day. So what it was Nimrod at 175, Boulevard Trask, Senator Kelly, a Friends of Humanity figure, a Sentinel for 33 points because I wanted the Perplex and the Capture Coils, and then I ran a whatever it was, the WWE ring, and the Skull Camp map. In hindsight, that was probably my most wasted points, was that Skull Camp map. Probably, well, we'll get into that here in a minute. So that's what I ran. Basically my idea was to dangle Nimrod out there, make them try to attack them, hopefully hit themselves a few times, unless they had outwit, at which point I was going to play a little bit more defensively with them, leave Senator Kelly and Boulevard Trask in the back to spawn Sentinels. Senator Kelly and the Sentinel that I have gave me Perplexes to modify some stats, so I was definitely able to get a lot of use out of that. And then the Capture Coils were nice. I didn't get a ton of use out of them during the day. I got a little bit of use out of them, though. And the main reason I had those is because everybody was talking about the WWE figures, and I was also worried about Avengers. So my plan is to, once the Avengers placed, swoop in with the Capture Coil Sentinel, hold them in place a couple squares out, because that particular Avengers team, as well as a lot of the WWE guys, need close combat. So if I could basically plasticity them a couple squares away, they were just going to have to be either hit with colossal reach or range attacks, and I was going to win. So that's why I did that. That was a couple fold. I know a lot of people wanted to use Graydon Creed to get an extra leadership role to try to get Sentinels out faster. My figure was that if I got both of my leadership roles, I ended with 3 Friends of Humanity and a Sentinel. If I did it in the other configuration, I would end my first turn, and if I went 3 for 3, I'd have 3 Friends of Humanity and a Sentinel. I figured I had a better chance at going 2 for 2 on leadership roles first turn than 3 for 3. Plus, I knew for sure I was getting the Sentinel with the Power Coils and the Perplex. I liked that configuration a lot more. It's not that there's anything wrong with the other one. It was just, it fit my playstyle better. So going into this, I knew that there was going to be Avengers. I figured I'd see some form of WWE team. I already said Avengers. I was pretty sure I was going to see Juggernaut, and I almost knew for certain that I was going to see Onslaught monster theme. And then I thought I was going to see another Sentinel team. Nobody else brought Sentinels but me. So it must have been really bad or something like that. But anyway, I felt personally that my worst matchup was in fact against Juggernaut, because if I lost, well, if anybody loses map roll to Juggernaut, it's just a really tough day. But I figured even if I got him on an open map like I wanted, that it was going to be hard for me to score him, because he was going to be able to come, he was going to be able to score, Friends of Humanity, Graydon Creed, Boulevard Trask fairly easily. He's, ignore Nimrod and then run away, and Nimrod doesn't have move and attack, so I was going to spend 40 minutes trying to track him down, and they were going to win 15-0, 50-0, something like that. I felt like that was my worst matchup. So first round, I played against a full point Juggernaut, 300 points. I was like, okay, so we're going to see if all this practice paid off. I'd been practicing against Juggernauts. One of the guys I brought with me was playing Juggernauts, although he switched from full point Juggernaut to 200 point Juggernaut with some other things, and actually gave it a nice little wrinkle. But he's a newer player. He's really good for all the longer he's played. He only played about a month and a half. So he did good considering all the longer he's played. But I'd been practicing with him, coaching him up on his thing, so I knew how the Juggernaut team was going to go. I won map roll, +5 map roll. It seemed like was, outside of Avengers, was enough to win 90% of your map rolls. So I was comfortable with that. So I won. We went to the Skull Camp. I set the WWE ring such that it took out that middle section of blocking terrain on the Skull Camp map. So basically he had to work end to end if he wanted to heal or do free things. So it came over, and I was able to get the first crack in, putting him on sidestep, and then I wore him down. I think he got 1 or 2 Friends of Humanity, but it was somebody that didn't play very often. But I just basically putting him on that map, put him on tilt. So I ended up winning. So nothing special really happened in that match. It was just a kind of a slog. It went how I knew it was going to go. He took out a couple little guys, but I was able to kind of hem him in because he was on his sidestep clicks. So so he couldn't really get too far or like charge in an attack. He had to commit to the free Quake. So there was that. Then I said, okay, I played and beat my one Juggernaut. Good. Next round, another Juggernaut. So I said, okay, here we go again. Played against the same guy, or played against a different guy. I won map roll, played on the same map, everything. It went basically the same way. He had a couple, this second guy though, had a couple really bad dice rolls. He ended up only getting, I think, 1 or 2 Friends of Humanity, and that's all he got. Again, that wasn't really necessarily his fault. He should have at least gotten one of my spawn guys. But yeah, so that was my worst nightmare. Got that out of the way 2 rounds in a row. Then in the third round, I ended up playing against an Onslaught team. It was somebody that I had been practicing with. So I said, okay, well, I'm playing Onslaught. They have me outranged. They have me outmobiled. I thought about this in practice. What do I want to do against this team? So since it's an ROC, you can use all of the ROC maps, not just the WizKid legal ROC maps. So that lets you use the underground indoor. So I said, okay, I'm going to take him to the indoors. I'm going to block off tons of his lines of fire and make it so that, he might get the first hit. And in fact, he should get the first hit. But, I will be able to make a retaliatory hit rather than, have to like try to sidestep or hope I'm on a sidestep click so I can sidestep in range or something like that. Like, because that not only does he have me outranged, he also has that thing where even if I do sidestep into range, I still can't draw a line of fire because I'm, I think, more than 6 squares away. So I really needed to clamp that map down. So I won map roll. I took him inside. That was fine. He was using Onslaught, Sabretooth. He was using Silver Sable, because he made a mistake during forced construction. He thought that she took generic keywords rather than name keywords. So, fairly innocent enough mistake. Did not have Dr. Frankenstein on his team. He did have Proteus, and he played this team a bunch before. He was really good with it in practice. So we played, and I set my WWE ring basically in the middle of the board, kind of on his-ish side, though. So I phasinged up with my Nimrod, and I was really on fire with my rolls for leadership. I got turn 1, I got out both my Friends of Humanity. I needed to start making Sentinels. Turn 2, I made 2 more Sentinels. And then I think I ended up making 1 more during the course of the game. So my leadership roles were really doing well. And then, so I phasinged up. I went inside the ring. I said, okay, if he range attacks me with Onslaught, the ring will make him re-roll. And then if he hits me, I can, try to hit him back. So, didn't make my shape change roll. He came up with Silver Sable and Sabretooth into the ring. I said, okay, well, there's those 2 guys. I kind of knew he was going to attack with them up close. Then he attacked with Onslaught, ended up not hitting me, but then he attacked with Sabretooth, missed my shape change roll. He rolled higher than me, so he hit Nimrod. My Nimrod actually got pretty well beat up. My Nimrod was down to, I think, his 3rd from last click, before I ended up falling back to try to let Boulevard Trask heal him up. But before I did that, I had moved up with 2 of my Sentinels, destroyed some blocking terrain, made it so that they could draw a line of fire to the Nimrod and to some people that were inside the wrestling ring. And then I'd swooped around to the side to flank with my 3rd Sentinel to kind of do like a modified pincer move. And that ended up working out really well. I was able to hit his Onslaught a couple times, which was super helpful. And then before I phasinged away with my Nimrod, I had poisoned Sabretooth a couple times to get him pretty manageable. So that by the time I did phasing away, I was able to KO the Sentinel, or I'm sorry, the Sabretooth and the Silver Sable with my Sentinels that were left behind. I think I even called in Rusty because I had a Rusty ID. It was the only ID I used. And that one, yeah, that's the one that killed Sabretooth. It poisoned him. And then I just moved Rusty so he, poof, went away. And then he phasinged over with his Onslaught, which was all that was left on his team. Proceeded to miss with his attacks. I got pretty lucky with it, and then I was able to KO his Onslaught with Nimrod. So I got the win, but he came the closest to KOing my Nimrod all day, outside of the person that eventually won the tournament. So because the people that were there, we only did 4 rounds of Swiss. So the last round of Swiss, me and my opponent were both assured a spot in top 4 because we were doing 4 rounds of Swiss, cut to top 4. Just the way the math worked out, we'd both made it. He was really hungry. I said, well, rather than just have a roll off, I said, why don't we just, have a slobber knocker? Gentleman's agreement. We'll meet in the middle of the ring, just roll some dice, try to have fun. Whatever happens, happens. So he said, okay. So he was playing Onslaught. He was copying, Lytle is his last name. He plays on Phoenix Nest. He was playing that team. That guy had played it the week before, Tommy Lytle. He had played that the week before. He liked it because it had Undertaker and it had Onslaught. This is also a Phoenix Nest guy. So, they share a lot of information, which is good. It's part of the reason you're on a team. So we played. I made the first move. I went as far as I could. I think I was able to get into the ring with Nimrod, but not with my Sentinels. And I had 1 map roll again. So since he had Onslaught, I just, went on the indoor map, even though we, the ROC Underground map, even though we were just, kind of playing for quote-unquote fun, even though Heroclix is always fun. So he came out with Undertaker and Onslaught. I made none of my rolls. My dice totally abandoned me. They had been so hot all day. Didn't make shape change. Didn't roll higher than him. He did Undertaker's signature move twice on Nimrod to knock him out. And then after that, it was just him cleaning up a bunch of, at maximum, 3-click guys. So our game was over maybe in 10 minutes. So we said, okay, we took our break, went and got lunch/dinner. And then it was cut to top 4. So top 4, I played Mike Houghton, another member of the team that I'm on, which is Critical Misdirection. I'm the captain of it. So we played, he did Avengers team, and he won map roll because of sorry about that, because Avengers is a +8 theme team. So he took me on the Stark Tower map so that he could make use of his bonus for the map. So we did that. He kind of skirted around. He figured out that I really wasn't going to come to him. I wasn't going to let him make those close attacks first. So he phasinged over with Voyager, carrying Crystal and Medusa and all that stuff. Tried to get his first couple attacks. He missed. Well, he hit Nimrod, but ended up hitting himself. And then he missed my Sentinel. And once he was that close, him and I both knew it was pretty much over. I swooped in, outflanked him with my capture coil Sentinel. And because during this time, why I say my capture coil Sentinel, during the time he was taken to move over, I had spawned, I think, 2 additional Sentinels. So it had taken him a while to decide he was coming over. So he missed one of my 2 spawned Sentinels. I flanked him with my capture coil Sentinel, held everybody in place, did Quake with Nimrod, and did it with Colossal Reach. Quaked, hit everybody, and then once that happened, everybody's stats go down. He lost his leadership, I believe. And then I was just, kind of taking pot shots at people. He did manage to KO a couple of Friends of Humanity and stuff like that. I think he took out a Sentinel too. I'm not sure. He ended up getting 3rd place based on points. So that was good. And then I was in the top match with the person I played in the 4th round. So I said, okay, Devin is his name. I don't think he cares if I use his name. He's a Phoenix Nest guy. He's a very good player. He's been playing about a year, but he's been getting a lot of competitive play. So he's doing pretty good for that stuff. So, and he's what he doesn't know about, like, all the strategies he makes up for, and that he's very well practiced with whatever team he brought. So we played, we got our stuff out, said, okay, well, good luck to you, stuff like that. And I, knew to myself, I said, okay, well, I need to win map roll. If I can win map roll, get on an indoor map, like I'd been doing with him the first time with the other Onslaught team, I should be fine. It's going to be hard, but I should be fine. So he ended up winning map roll. Took me to the Skull Camp Outdoor because that's the map he picked. If you have an Onslaught team, you pick the Skull Camp map because even if you lose map roll, your opponent gets -1 to basically all the free things that Onslaught does. So once he did that, I said, okay, this is going to be pretty hard for me. This was my other matchup I was worried about, other than Juggernaut, was having to play against a Onslaught team on an outdoor map. This is not a good matchup for me. He has me outranged. He has me outmaneuvered. Okay, so what do I do? And then he has this fold of the Undertaker on his map, so he's got a really, I feel like, a better secondary attacker than Sabretooth. Not that Sabretooth's a bad secondary attacker, but Undertaker's definitely better. So it was like, okay, well, what do I do? So he moved out. I said, okay, well, if I don't move out, he's just going to take pot shots at me and, KO all my guys except for Nimrod, and then, I'm going to lose. So I said, okay, so I moved Nimrod all the way out to my WWE ring, which was in the same place I put it for the Juggernaut games. So I said, okay, if he's going to try mind control Nimrod, I'm going to get a reroll on it and stuff like that. And then I tried to move my support crew kind of behind-ish Nimrod. Not that he wasn't going to be able to draw a line of fire, but just to kind of draw him in a little bit so that I was going to have an opportunity to attack some things. I did that. He attacked all of my backup guys, which was the smart thing to do. I basically KO'd all of them in one turn. And then it was just Nimrod trying to get people. Now, what I had been trying to do was I noticed that there came a point where he was double tokened on his Onslaught from doing that. And then I moved my Nimrod so I was double tokened. I said, okay, he's either going to stay here and risk Nimrod picking up power and doing what I want, and trying to at least take out his Dr. Frankenstein. I always want to call him Dr. Jekyll. It's Dr. Frankenstein, or something like that. Because on that team, if you can take out the Dr. Frankenstein, it is a much easier proposition to win that game. So I said, okay, we'll do this. And I have more clicks than him, so if he pushes his Onslaught and isn't able to heal with Dr. Frankenstein, I can actually make him push himself to death, and I'll still have a fighting chance for what's left on his team. So I said, okay, I'll do that. So did that, and he realizes what I'm doing because he's a good player, and he's moves his Onslaught, Colossal Staminas, does that, makes his roll, his support roll, heals one. Okay. So I'm like, okay, well, you got lucky once, not likely to get lucky again. Push him, heals. And I do that, I'd say 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5 times in a row. And then I'm like, okay, well, obviously this isn't working because he's healed every time I've pushed. I need to start thinking about, maybe just getting some points, try to finish, respectably. Maybe I can, force him into some other things, because I was like, even if I don't take out Onslaught and Dr. Frankenstein, I can win on points if I take out his other stuff. Well, by the time this thought had occurred to me, it was too late. So what I did was I tried to go after Undertaker for a little bit, and he just kept outwitting any pertinent power I was going to be able to use. Then I said, okay, well, let me try to go after Proteus. I attacked, I missed, I got my fear tokens, and then that was basically it. And then it got down to where his Undertaker came over, because there was no point in me running anymore. I was double tokened, and if I Colossal Stamina, I was going to push myself to death. So I said, okay, so he outwitted my defense and did the WWE version of Poison. I think it's called Submission Hold. KO'd me, won the game. I didn't score anything. And that's basically it. So overall, I had a lot of fun. I would definitely run Sentinels again for Pauper. If you win map roll, you can definitely compete well with this team. I enjoyed Pauper as a format just in general, because like the same people are always going to win the games. Good players are always going to win. But I like that I'm getting a chance to use more of my collection, and hopefully it'll drive up prices of some of the less rare figures. Even if it only takes them from a nickel to $1. If I can get a few, those dollar bills add up if you're buying bricks and cases and stuff like that, which to me is the ultimate goal of Pauper. So thank you to everybody involved. Thank you, Howard Brock. Thank you, Chris Cottrell, for manning the helm and being the dude for Pauper. And Chris is going to be on here soon to talk about how states went. I feel bad. I got sick over the weekend, and I was supposed to do an interview with him, and so we're gonna reschedule that hopefully, and have him on here to talk about how that went, because I was very happy with it. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think of the Pauper format. I'm always interested in hearing that. That's all I have for you guys today. As always, please remember this is uncritical miss if you don't have probability control.